and the Norristown Family Center.
Welcome. Today we're going to talk with our guests about some community-based activities and services that bring together organizations and citizens, residents, young people, and adults in our communities. We have Angela Bell with Communities That Care. We're going to learn more about CTC in our conversation. We have Obed Arango, who's with the Center for Cultural Art Training and Education, CECATE. And we have Pastor Brian Akamina from Partners for Families, who's the chair of the Weed and Seed, and that's another group of groups, so to speak, that we want to talk with today and learn a little bit more about what is Weed and Seed all about, what is Communities That Care all about, and how are these groups bringing our citizens together and for what purposes. So why don't you get started with us?
Okay, well, Communities That Care is a community-based initiative. It's not one particular program. It's an initiative that focuses on reducing and preventing adolescent delinquent behavior. And the way that we go about doing that is to first bring together members of the community, a cross-section of members of the community, to help us first make some decisions about what issues or what we call risk factors are present in the community that cause our kids to make choices that are lead them to delinquent behavior. And then we use all of those voices that we bring together to help us figure out what kinds of programs and services we want to put in place to get our kids to choose pro-social or positive behavior. So that's basically the focus of Communities That Care, and it is very important in order for us to come up with the right programs and services that we have as many voices from the community come together as possible.
Okay, so you have some young people, some citizens, some moms
we try
and dads.
To get youth themselves. We certainly want as many parents as possible, but then we also look to some key areas in the community. We want government representatives. We absolutely need the school district at the table. We want members of the faith-based community. We want the business sector. You know, we try to bring a cross-section, as many people as possible who can make a difference in the lives of our kids and who are also impacted by the decisions that our kids make.
Okay, very good, very good. And Communities That Care kind of focuses on the entire Norristown area school district, which is 3 municipalities.
That's right. The geographical area that Communities That Care serves are actually 3 municipalities. Okay. We serve the borough of Norristown, East Norriton, and West Norriton townships. And those 3 municipalities make up the Norristown area school district, which is why a lot of our programs and services focus on the school district.
Okay, great, great. And I wanted to just make that distinction. Now, Weed and Seed is a little bit different. And so maybe just as an introduction before we get into other issues, tell us a little bit about Weed and Seed and its focus and its area that it covers.
Well, thank you for having us, by the way. And Weed and Seed, it has its origins in the early 2000s. It started with the district attorney's office, and a real primary focus was on crime prevention. And it evolved, and it's at a different stage now with Weed and Seed. It's a community-driven initiative that brings together local governments, community leaders, private, public sector, the grassroots residents together to help revitalize Norristown. And Weed and Seed, those two terms, weed is the law enforcement, being very aggressive on the negative aspects of the community, and the seed aspect of prevention, intervention, and treatment. And within those two initiatives, there's a two-prong approach of, after a community survey that was taken, that it identified 2 priorities, and that was community police relationships that need to improve, and antisocial behavior of youth, and all of the factors within that. So those are our 2 initiatives, and we have a new steering committee which state mandated restructuring of this, in which 50% of this steering committee represents the grassroots residents of the community.
Wonderful.
A Latino voice with Latino leaders,
Right.
Latino organizations, the faith-based organizations, and the district attorney's office, superintendent of schools, chief of police, municipal manager, interagency council,
Great.
and the strong partnership with Communities That Care that has had a history here.
Right.
So it's all about the integration and collaboration for this initiative.
Right, good, good. And that's, I think, one of the points I wanted to make is, you know, this is nice work and this is nice work, and if the two of you are going along and not talking to each
Yeah,
other,
absolutely, yeah.
there's a problem there.
Exactly.
And so it is good to know that you're working together and that you make use of the resources that each has. And I think you can tell us a little bit about, you know, this whole idea of collaboration, you know, and bringing people together to come to some common ends and to build on the strengths that each has, and that idea of getting more when you're working together. Maybe tell
Well,
us a little
thanks
bit.
for having us here. It is a pleasure to be here this morning and this day. And well, there are two things that I would like to say.
Sure.
The effectiveness of collaboration, it has to respond to a social agenda. Without a clear social agenda, effectiveness cannot happen.
Okay.
In Secate, that is the organization that I lead, we think that prevention, it has to do an action when you identify what is the issue that is causing, but it's not only a causing effect, but also what is the environment, how you can transform the environment.
Right.
Many of the approachments in the past, it has been cause effect. Well, not always is in that way. Many times you have to understand the environment and to see what are the elements that you have to transform in order really to change the relationships, the dynamics, the situations. Right now we are in the midst of research. This is a sociological, anthropological research on the area in which we are listening the different voices.
Very important.
In this way of the Latino community. The Latino community has been growing fast in Northeastern area. And we are taking the points of view of the business people, parents, religious leaders, local and social leaders, and school district professors. All those point of views allow us to understand and see what is the environment, what is the social agenda, what more concern.
Right.
And then, through that collaboration, it becomes very important.
Right.
Yep, absolutely.
Very meaningful.
Because there is no organization that can approach everything.
Right.
Exactly.
Then, when you get the social agenda,
Right.
and then you bring collaboration,
Right.
then you can really become with solutions that are meaningful.
Right. It's not just coming together.